Hello, this is Nick Roach again. Today I'm going to talk about choosing a teacher. Now ultimately I would say it could be suggested that one never chooses anything. One only thinks one does. But we're not talking on that level yet. So here, every day, we make choices. So I'm going to talk about choosing a teacher. What does one look for? What does one need? Well, like anything, there are lots of variables. The ultimate one, I would say, is purely go with what feels right. That's it. And if you're following that intuition, the sense of being, where the intuition is, then even when one realizes later this isn't for me, it was in the first place. And that bit of time served while you've been in that teaching has served you. It wasn't wasted. But if you're going to listen to me saying that, then you're already following my teaching, which is being aware and being intuitive, etc. So again, before that level, what does one look for when choosing a teacher? There are a lot of teachers that are talked about. Many of them are long since dead, but they have Facebook groups and forums in their names where their teachings are distributed, repeated and shared, discussed and debated. That's great. There are a few teachers who are still alive, and perhaps ironically there aren't as many Facebook pages, groups and forums talking or looking at the teachers still alive. That's just the way it is. But of the ones which we look at, the most famous ones, I've noticed an awful lot teach that there's nothing you can do. There's absolutely, they say, nothing you can do to help your enlightenment, to help your spiritual progress. Some even go as far as to say anything you do, any effort you make, will only slow down your progress, make it harder to find it, the thing you're looking for. So, if anybody was to adopt one of those teachers, dead or alive, as their own teacher, the first thing they're teaching you is that they can't teach you. And I didn't say that, it's in their own words. The ones who tell you there's nothing you can do, or you're already there, or there's no one to learn anything, there's no one to be enlightened or not to be enlightened, they're telling you they have nothing to teach you. And many will start their talks and teachings with exactly a statement of that nature. I have nothing to teach you. And that's great, and that's very honest. where it is. But my question is, how much help is that to you? How much is that helping you to go to a teacher who tells you he can't teach you? Now, to me, the difficulty with this is it seems to be the vast majority of teachers who adopt this perspective. There's nothing you can do. There's nobody here. You're already there. There's nothing to teach. There's nothing to learn. Ultimately, when one becomes and realises the one being as their self, absolutely nothing to learn, nothing to do. But I'm not talking about that yet, and nor is the person looking for a teacher, looking for enlightenment. They haven't got that yet either, so that's, I would suggest, of no help to them. They want someone to teach them how to get to that stage, how to reach that realisation. And being told by someone, I can't teach you, there's nothing to teach you, there's nothing to learn. I don't know if that's much help. But it's quite entertaining. And these forums and groups are filled with and full of people repeating this. It's all one big club. And if anybody dares to speak up against that and say, actually, I don't agree. I don't agree there is nothing that can be done. I don't agree that I am already there, because I am unhappy. My life is difficult. I'm struggling. My life is not a pleasure. And you telling me there's no one here to be unhappy is not helping me, and I need to find an end to this. Well, I've done it. I followed a process, a technique, a method, a practice, whichever term one wishes, and it works. And what's more, I've written a spiritual autobiography, 400 pages, spanning more than 20 years of every insight, every experience, every realisation along the way, step by step. What, where, how, it's all there. So you don't even have to believe anything, barely have to understand it. And the process is itself not new. Other famous gurus, not many, but have taught that focusing on the sense of I am, the sense of being, the stillness within. Other teachers have said this before as the most direct route. But far more have contradicted it. So I'm going to share with you briefly again the process. You've heard the saying, this is all one. This place is one mind, one consciousness, one being. And ultimately, one realises, one learns that that being, that one, is their own being, their own space. The awareness looking out of your eyes now is it. And that's not new. The question is how to connect with that more, how to connect with that all the time, how to realise that as your own being. Now the first step, really obviously, is to practice being aware of it. If you wish to become more self-aware, more aware of the space inside you as your own being, step 1 is to practice being aware of it. What could be simpler? What could be more obvious? That's it. Now, any moment you do that, unless you're living in this state all the time, you will probably find you can't hold on to it for very long. Something will come in, a thought, a feeling, and take you away from it. Then you're in your imagination. So, the next question is, how do I stop myself being dragged away into my imagination? In that moment, actually, you can't. But the thinking mind, the imagination, is being driven by thoughts and feelings. Emotion. And that emotion is buried deep inside your psyche, your being, already. Even at this moment, if you're not emotional, if there's no feeling there, the emotion, that's creating this whole existence, let alone your past hurts, fears, wants. That's in your psyche, at peace, at rest at the moment, not doing anything. Except it is driving the thinking mind. Even if you're not thinking about anything in particular, the emotion which you can't feel is always keeping the thought process ticking over. The most effective time, potentially the only time, but the most effective time to deal with this is when you have a problem, an emotional disturbance comes up, and suddenly you can feel the emotion. You're unhappy, you're angry, the feeling is there. So now you can feel the emotion. And then you have two choices. Go into the imagination where the feelings want you to go, or hold the stillness. The knowledge and the emotion is in it, and you can feel the emotion. And that is the time, if you can connect with the space, the stillness, and not go into the imagination, you can connect with the stillness while holding the emotion. The emotion, after a while, might be seconds, might be minutes. If it's a major problem, might be days, but not usually. Will shrivel up and die because it cannot survive without the imagination, without the images, the thought process. It cannot survive in conscious awareness, and it's gone. So step 1, I've said practice being aware of being aware, aware of the stillness, aware of the I am. Step 2 is when there is a problem in your life, connect with that stillness again, hold the emotion, hold the pain, the discomfort, and don't allow your mind, as much as possible, there's no failure here, don't allow the mind to go into the imagination and take you away. The more you can hold the space together, you dissolve the emotion. That's step 2. And step 2.5, let's say, as part of dissolving the emotion, is if there is some action, you're looking at the problem consciously in your mind, you feel the emotion, and think to yourself, what can I do? What can I do to fix that problem outside of me? I don't actually care about the outside, I want to make it go away in here. But is there anything I can do outside to help it inside? If there's something I can do, I do it. That's step 2.5. At any moment there might be something I can do. or there might not be. It doesn't matter. It's a question of always looking, because if there's some action I should take and I don't, the emotion's going to stay there forever. Almost crying out, do something, do something, do something. And your mind's going, nah, I'm quite happy with the emotion, thank you. I'm not going to deal with this. And it'll stay there. But as soon as you decide to take action, and take it if you need to, the emotion goes, okay, you've tried now. But I don't want to go away. I still want to make you think about it, even though you know there's nothing you can do now. And that holding on to it, it will go. Step 3, keep doing it. That's it. If there's a step 4 or step 3.5, it's about the intuitive, being conscious, being aware, and as much as possible going with the sensation of being right within, of what the right knowledge is, the right action, being conscious and observant. But that is the process. That is it. If a teacher has told you there's nothing you can do, I have to tell you, there definitely is. If a teacher has told you there's no one here to feel it anyway, you tell me, is there? Are you feeling it? No amount of someone else telling you you're not there is going to take the pain away. So again, if a teacher tells you there's no one there to feel the pain, does it make any difference? The pain's there. How do you make the pain go away? It's very simple. It's perhaps the most difficult thing in the world to do. But it's very simple. Hold on to the stillness. Hold on to it tighter in difficult emotional times. Take any action you need to take. And go with the intuition, the intuitive knowledge within you. That's it. Keep doing it. Every day. Every moment. I am the space that's watching. I am this. Thank you.